Good morning, everybody. We are back. It is the right side of campus. We're live on a Friday, April 6th, 2018. I'm your host, the big man on campus, here with my co-host, Donnie Rightside. Donnie, first weekend on the horizon without basketball, baseball in full force. You got basketball, NBA, NHL. You got all sorts of stuff. How you doing today?
Yeah, doing good. Nice little Friday, getting ready for the weekend here, setting up. You're right, but hey, I mean, there was some other playoff sports that we're going to want to pay attention to, as you said, the NHL and NBA full swing. Now we have Major League Baseball, even though it's Siberia up here in the Northeast. It seems like each and every day that you're getting to watch these games, and a short Friday card, Jeff. I almost had to, do one of those things where you had to scratch, like wipe the cold out your eye, as some famous rappers would say, and not a full card in Major League Baseball on a Friday. Certainly some interesting times here, man.
Yeah, we'll get into it and more here on the show. Hope everyone had a great evening and hopefully you enjoy the show today. Hit the like button. Let us know you're out there. Make sure you're sharing the show. Make sure you're supporting all the things at Sportsbook Review. A lot of great shows and articles and blogs and all sorts of stuff. Make sure you're check it out, sbrpicks.com. Donnie, we will get it going here today. What'd you how was your night last night? You do anything worth talking about, Donnie?
No, just relax. Watch a little bit of TV, watch some, flipping around some Major League Baseball. Shocked that the Phillies actually won 5-0, but yet again, you had to look and say, "Oh, thank goodness the Marlins were in town yesterday. Pick up a few easy wins to try to right the ship." Seems like that's going to be that slump buster type team, Jeff. This year could be the Marlins as they go on their world tour away from South Florida.
Yeah, they're a pretty bad team. But again, let's get into the show today. First things first. Uh I guess we'll have to mention this until it's over. Tiger Woods started his Masters Odyssey yesterday. I don't think he did pretty well. I don't know. I don't know. How did Tiger do, Donnie?
Yeah, no, it's always my favorite thing. One of my favorite things to watch, as you know, at this point. So Tiger starts out, and I believe he birdied one of the first three holes, and it flashes, Jeff, on ESPN, like across their entire flagship stations, all the way down the ESPN Ocho. Tiger, birdie, one under. Then he bogeys the next two holes, but there's no updates on that. And the day goes by. You never would have known, Jeff, that Tiger's 7 shots off the lead after one day. So I go to ESPN.com. I like to pick out some morning headlines, see what everybody's talking about. And I see one of the quotes on there: "You're a fool if you count Tiger Woods out." I swear to God, Jeff, Las Vegas and odds makers must pay ESPN and the networks to put nonsense up there like that and then hang a number. If Tiger Woods isn't plus 3 million to 1 to win the major, again, Donald Trump needs to step in and arrest every bookmaker on the planet for fraud. SEC fraud, Jeff.
Yeah, same old story from Donnie. Donnie, maybe people don't understand. Donnie hates Tiger Woods, but feels the
No,
need
I
to
don't hate Tiger
mention.
Woods. I don't understand. Like something is just
But Donnie,
completely
you're
awry.
adding
Like
to
it would
the.
be me. It would be like me, or like honestly, me and Tiger Woods should have the same exact odds to win the Masters. Honest to God,
But you're,
he has
but you,
no
but
he has no
Donnie,
shot to win the Masters. None.
I know, but you're doing the same thing ESPN's doing. Why? Then don't talk about him. Who cares?
No, it's
Like
it's
let's just
counterbalance. It's counterbalance. It's
let's
counterbalance,
talk
Jeff.
about everyone else that is doing well. Jordan Spieth, he's winning.
Yes,
Had
correct. That's the whole point.
or whoever. But again, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how he does today. Maybe he'll make a little return. Maybe talk about Sergio Garcia and how he didn't do well.
Yeah. Jeff? Did you see the one hole? What did he do? Take like a 13 or a 15 on one hole. Legitimately knocked what 4 or 5 balls into the water yesterday. Pros do have bad days. This is the returning champion of the Masters the next year, and he's not even going to make the cut. I believe he was +9 yesterday overall, but after that one hole, that was just outrageous to watch, especially from a professional golfer.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, he didn't do well. And, yeah, I mean, look, we'll see how Tiger does today. Maybe we'll have a, big day today. We'll see. Guys, please retweet the show on Twitter. I know for some reason the link doesn't go out. I'm not sure why. I don't know what that's all about, but we also
They
wanted
want to
to
keep
make
us down,
everyone.
Jeff. They want to keep us down.
Yeah, I guess. I also wanted to make people aware. Again, we'll mention this again at the end of the show. Starting tomorrow, Saturday. And every Saturday from here on out, Donnie and I will be live at 11 o'clock a.m. going over the MLB card. Now, we'll make this clear now. We'll go over every game. We're not going to have I'm not going to give you a pick for every. We're just going to go over the games. We're not going to, it's not going to be too, pressured or anything like that. We're going to come on. We'll take a look at the pitching matchups. Yeah, we'll chat a little bit about each game and just have some fun on the Saturday morning. So join us every Saturday at 11 a.m. here at SBR. We'll chat baseball. What else do we have going on here? Tyronn Lue back, and Tyronn Lue came back to a nice comeback. Cavs get the job done last night. Nice comeback win. Now tonight, a big game against the Philadelphia 76ers. Um, Donnie, do you think if Tyronn Lue was on the bench last night, do you think they would have came back?
Actually would have been hilarious if they should have lost by double digits last night to Washington, if not for just a complete collapse. But that's the NBA. It's the way the NBA, seems to go each and every night. But wouldn't that have been funny if they were 8-1 or 9-1 without him? They come back and lose by double digits. That would have been pretty funny. So Tyronn Lue sweating it on the bench, praying that they would pull that game out, and they did pull the game out. Hey, you got to credit Cleveland when they needed to make the buckets, they made them, and Washington just gets into that malaise. Jeff, I always find it funny in sports. It doesn't have to be professional sports, it can be college or anything. When something is going good, why do you break it up? Like with 6 minutes left to go in the game, you go into like a stall mode. For what reason? I just don't get it. Like I watched the end of that Washington because again, I'm a Sixers fan, so I'm hoping that Cleveland loses. Maybe the Sixers can beat them tonight, jump into that 3-hole. But as watching the game, it just doesn't make sense. You're rolling a team. Why do you all of a sudden stop what you do out of nowhere? And the other team always comes back at that point.
Yeah, I mean tonight's obviously going to be the big one for this. This is obviously a kind of like a playoff game. I mean, you need this is going to decide who's the third seed and who's the fourth seed. Obviously, big night down in South Philly. Kyrie Irving, Donnie, kind of relatable, out for the year. This is big in the Eastern Conference. Obviously, Boston, the number 2 seed, Toronto up there, but I'll tell you what. I mean, this is a bad thing if you're a Celtic fan. Obviously, you lose Kyrie Irving, and it kind of opens up again for the Sixers. Donnie, I'm telling you, man, Philadelphia is starting to turn a corner a bit. I think we're starting to get things go our way now. How do you feel about this? And you know, got to feel good if you're a Sixer fan.
Yeah, it's fun. You have one injury to Embiid, which is not life-threatening, and it's not going to put him out for the remainder of the playoffs, or one would hope. And now you have two major injuries this year, Jeff, that took place on the Celtics. I mean, you can go all the way back from what was it, Game 1 in the first 3 or 4 minutes. They lost Gordon Hayward, and now you're going to lose Kyrie for the playoffs. So, I mean, the Celtics, if they were completely healthy, they would have been a factor in the East, but now they're not so much. Looks like it's pointing towards Toronto at this point since they are the home team. But until we see Jeff LeBron not make it to the finals in the Eastern Conference, you might as well just pencil them in to the NBA Finals as is. But if the Sixers get Embiid back, maybe get that home court advantage over the first maybe round or two, it could be a lot of fun to watch a young Sixers team make a charge. Do I think they're going to make it to the NBA Finals? No, I don't, because I do think Toronto and obviously Cleveland overall, when playing on rest and you have to beat, LeBron James 4 out of 7 games, that's going to be tough to do. But it'll be a fun playoff run. I'm looking forward to it. Already saw the signs, Jeff, across Philadelphia, setting it up, unite or die, as the Philadelphia 76ers use their playoff logo. It's pretty cool, and I'm excited.
Big man, this is an EPL question. Do you think I should touch Bournemouth tomorrow? I'm on both teams to score in that game. I think it's the best play on the board. It's my banker of the week. Um, Donnie, you don't know anything about soccer, but I know you can tell me
No.
this. If you
Yeah.
don't give up, if you only have one clean sheet since Thanksgiving, that's probably not good, correct?
No,
Um,
you should be taking the over, shouldn't you?
Well, yeah, I mean, you should be taking that there's going to be some goals. Crystal Palace, the
Yes.
team they're playing, they haven't had a clean sheet since January. Actually, I'm sorry, they have had one. There was one. Both have played well, too. And the thing I like about Crystal Palace is they're finally healthy. Benteke back, Wilfred Zaha back. With those guys back, I foresee a goal from each side here. Could see even more than that. If you have the ability, I would take both teams to score in that one. I don't have that play on the side, though. Let's get into Conor McGregor, Donnie. Conor McGregor, obviously the talk of the town today, and it's not for anything good. Conor McGregor is facing 3 counts of assault and other charges after a drug-fueled, in my opinion, tirade. yesterday. I don't know what this was all about. Again, I get what you're trying to do here. You're probably trying to protect friends of yours. But here's the difference, and here's where I respect Conor McGregor. I think what he's doing here is obviously. I think you made the point. If you have a friend, you go all out for him. I would do it. Donnie, I back you up all the time. I back
Yeah.
anyone up all the time. I don't give a flying fuck what people think. If you're my friend, I'm going to go to war for you, and that's just how life works. If you get caught up, you get jammed up. It is what it is. But Conor McGregor is on a different level than you and I and everyone else. He's in the public eye. He's got to answer to a higher power. And look, you could tell you what about Dana White, but this is a little out of line if you're Conor McGregor. You can't go in and destroy property and affect other people. Some people were affected here that had nothing to do with this business. You're pulling down a whole event now. All because, and again, this isn't Donnie the first. Conor McGregor has been a bit of a nutcase lately. This isn't the first run-in he's had. He's been rumored to be on drugs. He's had his issues with his own wife. He had that issue in Ireland, if you remember, where some
Mhm.
drug organization wanted his head. He's a little bit of a reckless guy. Uh, and for all you want to say, I mean, it's just I get what you're saying. It's loyal and you got to respect it, but Conor McGregor is not above the law. I mean, and he's gonna probably go down for this. And this is Dana White's right. It is a bad career move for Conor McGregor, but is it a publicity stunt? Probably.
Yeah, no, Dana White behind the scenes right now is sitting in his hotel room saying, you know what? I think we might have just saved the UFC. I'm going to put on a good face and act like this is awful. It's a horrible day for the UFC. The UFC, if you haven't noticed, is tanking in ratings and needs something to help. This is something that I believe could have been concocted behind the scenes because, Jeff, isn't a little bit about street cred? Think about Meek Mill's next album when he comes out of jail. Did he put himself in jail? No. But you get that type of exposure and you come back to something, it's going to be worldwide. The same thing with Conor McGregor. Nobody's really looking at UFC right now. Everybody's pulling out of fights. What's going to take place in a year when he fights this guy? Who was it, Khabib? Or I never even saw the guy fight before, but I'm pretty sure that if that goes on a card in 6 to 8 months, it's going to be a monster pay-per-view and a win for everybody. So if you're Conor McGregor, how do you look at this, Jeff? Yeah, I might get sued a little bit. Yep, I might do a little bit of jail time, or I might get probation or it put off for good behavior, whatever it would be. But I think I just banked millions of dollars in my pocket for acting like a fool. The same thing with Dana White. Do you think for any minute, Jeff, that if Conor McGregor calls up in a week and goes, yo, Dana, put this fight on in like 6 months, we'll hype the hell out of it and we'll make bank, that Dana's going to go, you embarrassed me, Conor. You can't come back to UFC, and I can't allow any of that bullshit. Everybody's in this to make money.
Right.
That was a money-making business decision yesterday by Conor McGregor.
No, and look, and that's you're right. I mean, that's the thing. And at the end of the day, Connor, if he's able and doesn't care about his criminal record, I mean, he's not gonna go to jail over this, and it's not
Yeah,
a
what's
big
he going to
deal.
lose?
But
Is he going to apply for a banker's job and can't get it now? Come on.
right, right. At the end of the day, it's I guess really only about a professionalism kind of thing. If this is what Connor wants to do, it's fine. But again, as a professional, you don't conduct yourself in this manner. But look, Connor's a loyal guy. I don't knock him for that. There's nothing wrong with that. It's something that listen. If I've said it time and time again, if I go out to Vegas with you and I see somebody fuck with you, I'm gonna fuck with them. That's just how it goes. And there's not a lot of people that'll do that. I don't think there's a lot of people that would go to bat for a friend of theirs, and they might say they will, but they don't. But I gotta respect
And
them for
Jeff,
that.
how about how about the advertisers out there in the world too? Like, how about Monster interjecting themselves saying, "We're going to take a look at this situation." Why did you put out a press release? If it was so bad, why didn't you just put out the press release that said we're releasing Connor from his contract? Everybody's eating off this. This is going to be hilarious to watch, and all the way going back to Connor jumping back in the rim for a huge payday. It's coming. Just get ready. I enjoy the banter, little WWE style, set it up like this because it does bring anticipation. You know what I mean? It's fun.
Sure, sure. And Connor, he'll hype his next fight like you said, and everyone will buy it. That's the great thing about this fighting sports. The hype is generally better than the actual fights themselves.
Yeah, always.
Connor will be fine. He'll do a day and he'll get arraigned. He'll get he'll pay bail and be out, and this will go away, and we won't even remember it in a couple months. Uh, but again, I mean, you look at ESPN. I mean, they got Dana White's face everywhere. Dana's talking about, oh, Connor's committing career suicide and da 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 da. So you're really gonna if he calls you tomorrow and says, "Hey, listen, Dana, I'll take the fall for this," is what it is. But is Dana just gonna say, "Well, you disrespected me, our sport, and our company. You're not gonna fight again. We're gonna just throw away millions of dollars, multi-million dollars. I'm not interested. Get the hell out of here, Dana White." Uh, Let's keep it going. UFC will be in Atlantic City in 2 weeks. Huh, I didn't know that. Frankie Edgar. Frankie Edgar never wins. It seems like I feel like he has had a tough career. I don't follow UFC a ton, but yeah, I guess we have a little Atlantic City UFC coming. That's
Yeah,
cool.
a couple years ago, Jeff, I actually went to the Revel. The Revel had a UFC card that I went to a couple years back. Had Cowboy Cerrone on the card there. It's kind of interesting to go to a fight live. I liked it. I enjoyed the UFC.
Yeah, I've never been. Max Holloway also recently came in here medically and fit to fight Khabib Nurmagomedov. So again,
Now, what does
all
that
this is
mean,
for
though? Now,
nothing.
he's physically unfit to fight. Does that mean he missed weight, or does that mean he just didn't train, or does that mean we found like he had a broken arm and is trying to fight? What does that actually mean where he just got, because I saw that come up, I guess, as about the time we were coming on the show, that another guy pulls out, which, on the heels of this nonsense thing on the UFC bus, almost seems like it's even more rigged to this point to try to cover that up. But unfit to fight, what would that mean from a or a UFC standpoint?
Maybe he was hurt by that dolly that Connor threw in the
We were
bus.
scared to death. Jeff, would you be
Yes.
scared to death if you're on a bus and somebody threw a dolly at the bus? Would you say, "Oh my God, I thought I was going to die"?
No. I mean, I wouldn't want to be hit by it, but yes, I would not. I would be. I'd probably laugh really that this is all going on and I'm able to witness it. Um, yeah, Mark Tong again. We did a Premier League show. You can check it out, man. I'm not going to go over every tip. Just check it out. It's on SPR. Let's move into baseball, Donnie. Our recap of baseball here. We'll move that down there. Get into the diamond. Interesting day yesterday on the diamond. Mets, Donnie, continue their
Yeah.
torrid pace. How about this? What do you think?
Yeah, no, that was nice yesterday. I mean, we talked about it a little bit on the show there. I know you were hot and heavy on the Mets, which was a great call because they ended up
Yes.
winning 8-2 in that game. And it was one of those where I was looking at where everybody was hammering the under 7 in that game. And I said, it's still early on. It's still cool. Game ends up with 10 runs in there. And again, it just comes down to that simple science that we use. All you need is 3 aside. That's one swing of the bat from some of these power hitters just to get that 3 runs on the board. Easily goes over a Mets cover. But you're right. Hey, look, we said it all off season, Jeff. If the Mets can stay healthy from a pitching perspective, it almost doesn't matter what their lineup does because they're going to be in each and every game. Nice start to the season for the Mets.
Yeah, one other thing, Donnie. Maybe now that Max Holloway's out, maybe if Connors gets out, maybe they could let him fight.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, you could do one of those unsanctioned fight, Jeffs, where the weight and stuff, and there's no belt on the line, so it doesn't matter. It'd be great theater.
Right. Yeah, I mean that would be something they could do, but I'm sure he won't do that because I don't think I don't know. I get the feeling, and I know this is crazy to say, and I don't mean to keep talking about UFC, but I know this is crazy to say just because they are fighters and that's what they do. But sometimes I look at Conor McGregor and I kind of wonder, like, it always seems like he wants to get tough when like cameras are around. Like, why not just say, you know what? I'm not going to talk. I'm just going to beat your fucking ass when I see you. We're going to fight.
Yeah, because
How come Connor's
that
not said
doesn't pay
any
the
like?
bills. Oh.
But Connor's not said any time like, "Oh yeah, let's fight in the ring." It's always like, "Oh, I'm going to attack you like out of nowhere," but it's not going to get too far because there's people around and
Yeah, and
whatever.
Jeff, everybody had their cameras ready, spontaneous. Like, when Bigfoot runs down the street, nobody seems to be able to get a camera on it. Seems like 19 people had cameras on this event, which is even better. And the fact, Jeff, that he chose to do it in a was it Madison Square, wherever it was. He obviously picked the right spot, which is funny because how do you crash? Like, Jeff, we've been to Madison Square Garden. You can't go anywhere without a million people at a million different exits. And somehow he was able to get through all of that as an uninvited guest. Come on.
Right. No, it was the same way when he got on. I remember when people vilified me because I said that he shouldn't have been able to get into the ring that one time. Remember when his friend was fighting? and he like went into the ring and like no one did anything. Like he just like walked in.
Yeah.
And I said,
Yeah,
it
exactly. Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
I don't care who it is. He's not in the fight. He shouldn't be in the fucking ring. He's a nut. He shouldn't be in the ring. But yeah, guys, again, we having all these like UFC guys come in and say, "Oh, this." We're just talking. We're not saying he's gonna do it. We're just mentioning it. But let's go back to baseball here. Yeah, I mean Jay Bruce with a big grand slam yesterday. They're playing well right now, and Michael Conforto hasn't really done a ton. I mean, you don't have you haven't gotten a ton out of Jay Bruce up until yesterday. So yeah, the Mets are rolling right now, Donnie. Best record in baseball, I believe, or at least in the NL. Phillies get the job done yesterday against the Marlins. No great shakes here. They should be able to beat the Marlins, no matter who pitches and who comes out early and blah 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 blah. Donnie, the phone lines though in this town are still hot over Gabe Kapler. People not happy with Gabe Kapler, and it's more or less his personality. Now people are coming out and saying they hated him from the beginning. They don't like his personality. He's talking about coconut oil and jerking off, and he's just a weird guy. Let me ask you, take baseball out of it. Do you like Gabe Kapler? Like, do you want
Yeah,
to
he's
like
he's I mean, it
if you could be
no,
friends with
because
him?
I like yeah, no, because I like to have, a couple cocktails. I like to smoke some cigars, and I can eat McDonald's as well as I can eat, five-star dining with steaks and lobster. And it doesn't seem to me, it almost seems to be like, Jeff, we all have had these friends like, hey, let's go out and get a pizza. And they're like, yeah, nah, I'm not going to eat that pizza today. Is there any like salad on the menu? Or come on, let's all go out to the bar. We'll have a couple drinks and get some wings. Yeah, I'm trying to watch my diet a little bit. He seems like one of those guys. Like, when would be the environment where Gabe Kapler would be cool? Like, dude, it's 11 o'clock after the game. Let's go hit biceps. You're like, hey, yeah, hell yeah, let's go. Like, that's the type of guy he is at this point, as opposed to, like if he saw you with a cigar, he'd be the guy that made the comment, like, boy, that's really unhealthy, man. Like secondhand smoke kills. And then you're like, all right, let's get some cheesesteaks down the city. Whew, man, you're going to be clogging up all that cholesterol. He seems like that type of guy, doesn't he?
He definitely does. And he's kind of I don't know, he's kind of like me in a way because like I am like other than like food, I am pretty like stringent on like I don't drink, I don't do drugs, I don't smoke. So I am but again, he's like one of the guys that like you'll take a flight to I don't know, Denver and you'll get off, you'll be outside. He's like, "Oh, let's hit the 24-hour fitness for a workout," you know? It's like, "No."
Yes.
Sorry, Don. I got a couple
Look at
sneezes
that.
today.
Yeah, little allergy season up there for you, Get a little
No, I
blessing
don't
over.
know. I don't know what's coming over me here. I just got something in my nose, something. I don't know. Maybe I did a little blow before the show here.
Now
Um,
it's coming out.
that's probably what
Too
that's
much
probably
fat,
happens.
too much fentanyl in there.
Chris Carter, good comment. He seems like a guy who wouldn't like the Philly fanatic. Good point, actually. He does seem kind of
Yeah,
like
like
that
a
guy.
motivate. Yeah, like he will break concentration. Like if the fanatic comes out, like and he's doing a little chant on top of the dugout, like he does, that might break the overall analytic concentration of the pitcher who's trying to throw high or low, whatever it is. That is a really good point in that he's a very nice guy. He answers questions. It's a little bit too much personality, too over the edge for me at this point. But hey, Jeff, winning cures all. You go out and win a World Series, people say that's the greatest thing ever. I'm going to try coconut oil. I'm going to lose 30 pounds next year. But if he doesn't win, everybody's going to sit back. That health nut never had a chance from the beginning.
Andrew Casher, Donnie Cruz last night against the New York Yankees, and another big dog come in, Donnie. The Baltimore Orioles beat the New York Yankees in the Bronx. Aaron Judge, big home run, but then the likes of, again, Tanaka, who can never seemingly put a performance together. It's always, I'm going to go 6 strong, and they give up a big run, big hit, and then a big home run because I just can't deal with any sort of confusion or problems. That's Tanaka. Chad Green doesn't have a good performance either. And the Yankees go down. Big win for the Orioles. That's a big dog, Donnie.
No, it was nice. And it's a shame the Orioles a couple days ago couldn't come through for me blowing the lead down in Houston. But a nice win yesterday. You're right. I think it was like 1-0 when the time to hit that home run, bottom 5, bottom 6. You're like, Yankees just going to stroll away with this one. They can't really get any hits against the bullpen or the starting pitching. But a nice win by the Orioles. And a huge number, Jeff. Closed at minus 265 at Chris yesterday. Hey, man, the Dogs of April were able to come through in that one. Not so much in a couple other games. But yeah, We'll see if the Yankees be able to bounce back in that one. But that was definitely interesting that Cashner was able to dominate yesterday.
John Lester goes through with a nice performance, and the Brewers continue to be Jekyll and Hyde. Only 4 hits yesterday, losing to the Chicago Cubs. Cubs big performance against left-handers yesterday. Usually don't pitch well. Brewers also lose Corey Nebel. He's headed to the DL with a hamstring injury, so it just keeps getting worse for Milwaukee. They though fall just to 4-3, but it seems like they've been a little off. Obviously, they won on a big home run the other night, but they didn't play well in that game. Last night, they only managed 4 hits. Cubs with a big win yesterday.
Yeah, that cost me that back-to-back home runs. They're up 4-1 in the going back to the Cardinals Brewers game. They're up 4-1 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Give up 2 runs there, make it 4-3. Go into the 9th, get the first 2 guys out. Yelich has 2 strikes on him, drills one in the right center field gap, and then the very next pitch, Ryan Braun comes out and puts one in the left center field gap for the win. But you're right, yeah, 2 bad losses after that, sort of a little hangover. But anytime you lose one of the best closers in baseball, now you're scrambling in your bullpen. Who's going to take the 9th inning? Now your 8th inning guy goes to the 9th, and your 7th guy goes to the 8th, and vice versa. That's not a good look. I think they'll be able to hit their way through the summer here, but not a great start for if you're Milwaukee backer trying to look to cover that over.
Yeah, no, you're right about that. One other one here. Kyle Gibson, Donnie. Kyle Gibson's pitched well. Andrew Triggs has pitched well. 2 games in, Kyle Gibson, Donnie, looks like the Cy Young winner, doesn't he?
Yeah, how about that, man? Gibson back on the mound here, keeping it low, keeping the scores low. How about this, Jeff? Unders in Kyle Gibson's game now might be a thing of the future here throughout the summer. But I always like to joke around. You're just waiting for the bottom to drop out. When you go on a ride, Jeff, and it's like a roller coaster, wherever you go, Disney or Hershey Park or Six Flags, and you go up and you have that wait for about 3 or 4 seconds, and you're waiting for the bottom to fall out. Same thing on both of those guys. Enjoy the ride where it is, because sooner or later, Jeff, Kyle Gibson's going to have one of his 4 innings pitched, 9 hits, 7 earned runs, and being taken out of the game. But hey, it's April baseball, Jeff. This is what dreams are made of.
Kyle Gibson, 10 and a third to start the season.
Yeah.
1 earned run. By the way, Donnie, David Price, 14 in a scoreless streak to start the season here. He's pitched better than anyone to start the season. David Price headlining a big time Red Sox lineup pitching wise. And again, I mean, the big issue for the New York Yankees is their rotation. It's not good enough. You're going to have to go out and make a move. Just the truth of the matter. Severino's fine, but everyone else, who knows? That's just one of the big reasons I don't put them above the Red Sox. I don't put them above the Astros. They don't have a good enough rotation. Let's move on to today's action. Donnie, what are we looking at today?
Yeah, let's take a look here as we flip it over to today's action. If we take a look, Jeff, MLB, why don't we go back to the Bronx, Jeff? We're going to go with a little bit of Yankees Orioles action today. Gausman on the mound versus the best power pitcher in all of baseball, guaranteed to go 8 innings strong today, CC Sabathia. What do you have to say about CC, Jeff? Can we get through the 5th inning today in the Bronx? And again, it looks like it's going to warm up a little bit later on today, but then again, it's going to drop to some Arctic lows over the weekend in the mid-30s. Can't seem to catch a break here in the Northeast. Let's see what CC has today, Jeff. But 79% of the public, Jeff, coming in, backing the hometown New York Yankees here. Opened up at 180, down to 167. Chris opened up at 185, down to 171. That's not really surprising in this instance, Jeff. Depending on the weather and the wind conditions, let me just do a quick spot up check of those. Looks like wind's blowing out about 7-8 miles an hour in the Bronx for this game. It's going to start at 7:05. Over under, Jeff, opened up at 9.5. 9.5 across the board. Some 9 showing out there with juice. And again, it's Yankee Stadium again. I'm going to lean towards taking the over as long as it's not, 15 degrees or 20 degrees in those instances. But also, as I talked about earlier, Jeff, before we start, even baseball season got underway, looking at the Yankees over in the first 5, I think this is a good shot for one of those type games between Gausman and CC Sabathia before the bullpens get involved.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is, Donnie, that, and again, I know it's cold, but, the wind is blowing out. By game time, the wind's going to be around 20 mile an hour blowing out. Against this lineup for CC, who the last 2 starts against this team, he's given up 12 earned runs, Donnie, CC Sabathia. This is a lineup that is a bit newer, some new players in it for Baltimore, but still the regular guys. Listen, I don't trust Kevin Gausman. The thought of him against the New York Yankees is a concern. I agree with you here. I'd probably look over the number. You look at even last night. I mean, that game was nothing in the sixth inning, and it almost went over the number. If the Yankees are able to get a big hit in the eighth inning, that game goes over the number, and it had no shot, in the sixth inning. So these
Mhm.
teams can put runs on the board quick. Um, you're going to have the ability. Baltimore used a lot of their bullpen last night. I would look over the number here as well. This is a concern with the wind blowing out. Um, the ball should still be able to fly out of there with that wind.
No, it certainly should be in that instance. But it should be a decent one to watch. But again, you're taking a look at, laying like 170, 165 in that range with ceasing the cold weather. Should they have a bounce back game? Sure. I mean, we know the Yankees are going to eventually hit there, but we'll see if it blows out. Keep it moving down the list, Jeff. 905, 906. The Chicago Cubs and Milwaukee Brewers, as we talked about yesterday. Lester Strong in that start absolutely dominated Milwaukee. They're going to send Woodruff to the mound tonight. Similar instance, Jeff, and similar type prices than what we were looking at yesterday in the way of line movement. 25% of the tickets on the hometown Brewers, 29% of the money. Line opened up around 142, 150. That's since backtrack. Chris itself, Jeff, minus 150 is backtracked to minus 137. Some good movement of what you look for, but two straight games where the Brewers haven't looked so good. Do you lay down with that dog in this one today after not having so much offense the past couple days?
Uh, I, I don't really want to. I mean, I guess Woodruff they're pretty high on. He beat Junior Guerra out of camp for the fifth spot. He is one of their better prospects, Woodruff. Maybe just the way Milwaukee has struggled a bit offensively, maybe look under the number. Hendricks has been very good in his career at Miller Park. Not a ton of success with this lineup against Hendricks. Uh, I'd probably look towards the under. You got to just hope Woodruff can kind of give out one of those performances, Donnie, where Cubs really haven't seen him a ton, and he kind of just mystifies them for 4 or 5 innings. I would look probably under 8.5 here. I don't love either lineup today. Hendricks should be fine. I think this probably is like a 5-2, 4-2 type of game. I would lean under 8.5.
Yeah, got a couple afternoon game actions, but as I said earlier to start the show, Jeff, just kind of interesting on a Friday, like especially like the Philadelphia Phillies who played yesterday. It's a Friday; they're not playing tonight. Looks like what 4, 8, 9 games overall. When typically you have a full boat slate on a Friday night, but two afternoon games. One we'll take a look at, Jeff. 9:09, 9:10. Kansas City, Danny Duffy's going to head to the mound versus Carlos Carrasco. 78% of the tickets going to back the Tribe at home here, Jeff. Opened up minus 202. Pinnacle now showing a minus 216. Chris opened up at 210. That now sits at 220, a hefty price for the Cleveland Indians at home today, Jeff. Are you buying in here? Maybe a live dog over under seems kind of doable here. 7.5 that comes out. Just do a quick weather check in that game here as we take a look. And looks like wind blowing in, Jeff. 19 to 20 miles an hour with looks like by game time, when it should be over, 37 to 38 degrees. A frigid day in Cleveland here and a high price.
Yeah, I mean, I do kind of anchor the same sentiment that our friend Ian Cameron anchored. It does look like there's something wrong with Danny Duffy. He struggled in his first outing. Doesn't have a ton of success against this Cleveland lineup either. And look, I mean, Cleveland has owned Kansas City over the last couple of years. I mean, they've won 26 of 38 against the Kansas City Royals, and those are against better Royals teams. This Cleveland team's also won 16 of 20 against Kansas City at home. I think Danny Duffy's got some issues. I don't particularly like that lineup. I think this would be a lower scoring just because of the Carrasco. I don't think he's going to give up a ton of runs here. He didn't have a great start in his first start against Seattle, but I'd imagine he'll bounce back here today with a good performance. I think this is like 4-1, something like that. I think at any rate, I would probably lean run line here with the Cleveland Indians. I just don't really trust Duffy right now, and they've had limited success in Cleveland over the last several years.
901, 902, Herman the German, as we like to say. Marquez going up against Brandon McCarthy for Atlanta. Getting one of those first little sneak peeks in Colorado, but from what I'm seeing out there, I haven't checked the weather. I assume it's probably going to be cold there as well. Over-under opened up at 10.5 and 11 between Pinnacle and Chris. That has since backtracked. Looks like it's 10 across the board right now. Let me do a quick little update on some weather conditions that we might be looking at.
38.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, Jesus. Light snow, 38, and wind blowing in. Another fantastic day for baseball today. Jeff, sometimes in these instances, when you're looking, forget about capping the game itself. When you get a nice dog price when it's going to be snowing in 35, does anybody really have the advantage in that game? Wouldn't it be smart to take 2 games with shitty weather and just bet the dogs and say, nobody really understands how somebody's going to react in that type of environment. I'll just take the dog?
Yeah, and the thing is, Donnie, Atlanta's been hitting the baseball. I mean, they've been
Yeah.
playing well run wise, but again, that was down in sunny and hot Atlanta. I mean, this is a little different now, heading on the road to take on Colorado in Colorado. Uh, Two pretty good lineups, though. I got a weird feeling, Donnie, they still score runs in this game. I don't think it's going to matter. Colorado's a weird place with a lot of weird situations. Marquez was real good in his first start. Only gave up, 4 hits over 5 innings. Didn't give up a run against mighty Arizona. That's pretty impressive. I'm kind of on. I don't really have much opinion on this game. I want to take Marquez and this Colorado team at home. I generally like them at home, but I don't want to lay that price against a team that has been pretty hot. I have a feeling, Donnie, Atlanta is going to be a team that will struggle a lot this year on the road, and be real good at home. This is kind of a home road kind of dichotomy here. And Colorado's owned them in this park lately. 10 of 14 they've won against Atlanta. Uh, I don't want to lay 145 though. It's a pass for me.
Jeff, how about this angle here? You're looking at McCarthy, obviously, growing up in the United States, maybe used to some snow. The thing I always get a kick out of, and again, it's the same thing when the Miami Hurricanes come north in December and play Pittsburgh. If it's like 40 degrees, it looks like they're mummies wrapped out there playing. So you have German Marquez, obviously, probably growing up, I don't know where he's from, Curacao, South America, Dominican Republic, somewhere like that. Do you think it affects these type of pitchers and these type of players more than it would be like, I wouldn't be surprised if McCarthy took one of those old, like, I'm an old offensive lineman. I don't wear sleeves out there. Like Starlin Castro came yesterday, and the weather wasn't that freezing cold, low 40s yesterday. He was wrapped like a mummy, looking like he was ready to play with his kids in the snow. It's always an interesting angle to see how some of these come out. Like Charlie Blackmon will probably come out in the tank top with his damn beard and playing the baseball game, but always interesting to see in a baseball game, Jeff, with snow and mid-30s. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I'd have to imagine by now he's probably used to it, but I can't really comment because I've had cold weather my whole life, so I can't really. I will admit though, like when I went to
Yeah.
Texas the last week, it was real nice there, and when I hit the baggage claim in Philadelphia, and I felt that cold wind, it was a little sucked a bit, but um, Herman Marquez is from San Felix Bolivar, Venezuela.
Hmm. Yeah, he's
So
not used to it.
I
He's not used to this.
I can't imagine he deals with a ton of cold weather there. But he has been with the Rockies for a number of. I mean, whether you're pitching or just walking out to the bullpen or whatever, it is cold no matter what. I think he'll. Uh, Again, I don't know. It's a fair question, but Coors Field's a weird place. You never know.
No, you're absolutely right. We'll slide it down, talk a little bit of NBA and NHL playoffs. Not so much the actual, games itself or what we're anticipating, but there are some interesting things coming down the line here, Jeff. Starting tonight in Philadelphia. I mean, that 3-4-5 matchup right now, where Cleveland holds a 3 seed, the Sixers are in the 4, and Indiana Pacers in the 5. A lot still left to be desired as all 3 of these teams, Jeff, coming in hot down the stretch. The first one that falters looks like it's going to shake up that seeding. For the Sixers, I think it means more than all the other teams, Jeff, because you want that home court advantage for a young basketball team that might be without their best player. I think it's pretty important. But again, a lot's on the line tonight. It'll be interesting to see, even after Cleveland played last night, coming off back-to-back games, if the Sixers can hold up tonight without Embiid versus the LeBron James Cleveland Cavaliers. But a lot of fun here, Jeff, in the NBA, still going down to the wire here.
Yeah, a lot of big games. Obviously, this one, the Milwaukee Bucks had a big game last night, but they're not going to be. Again, they're not a team like them. They're not being threatened by Detroit, so it really doesn't matter. As far as seeding, though, they would have to play obviously that 1 seed being the 8 seed. They losing that game last night against Brooklyn was a bit of a conundrum. But yeah, big game in Philly tonight. Should be a great atmosphere. Really looking forward to checking it out. And honestly, Donnie, I want to go to obviously a playoff game for them and the Flyers as well. I saw playoff tickets went on sale for them. They're not in though yet, are they? The Flyers?
No,
They're
no,
still
it's got, yeah,
fighting somehow.
yeah, no, we'll get back to the West in a second. To bring up the Flyers and the Panthers here, still fighting down the Panthers. Here's the thing, Jeff. Panthers have 2 games left. The Flyers have 1. So the magic
Yeah.
number for the Flyers is 1 point. If the Flyers go and play the Rangers, who are bad, at home on Saturday and beat them, they're in. If they go to overtime, they are in. But it looks like from the way that it's setting up, I guess Florida does have the tiebreaker because if the Flyers lose versus the Rangers in regulation and then the Florida Panthers win both of their games and pick up the 4 points, I assume they would be in because then again, if that was the case and the Flyers were the tiebreaker, they would already be in right now.
Yeah, they were in kind of control about, 2, 3 weeks ago, but some poor play. The goaltending issues obviously continue to always be a problem for the Philadelphia Flyers. But yeah, as far as that'll be interesting. We'll see what they can do. They should be able to get the job done over the weekend, but with this team, it's never. I'm going to go out on a limb, Donnie. They don't make the playoffs. Something weird happens. I don't know why.
Who to fly?
Um,
Like, yeah, can you imagine it too, Jeff? On Saturday, they had the lowly Rangers have nothing to play for. They throw old man Heinrich in the nets, and the Flyers get beat like 2-0 because you can't get one by them. And
Stands
then
on its head.
I believe that Florida even has to go up to play Boston, who's still fighting for the overall #1 seed. You can see the Panthers going up to Boston when they want the 1 seed and beating them 3-1 there. Yeah, no, it'll be interesting. But you're right. When I saw last night, when the Flyers went, I'm like, "Whoo, finally we're going to get in the playoffs." Then I see Florida win, and I'm like, there's still an outside shot, which we've seen it all in Philadelphia, Jeff. So you're right. Don't put it past them.
No, you never know. But we'll look forward tonight to that Sixer Cav game. Western Conference is full of craziness. The basically the 6 to 9 seed, or I'm sorry, the what is it, 5 to 9 seed. Lot going on in the Western Conference, Tony.
No, you're right. That 4 through 8, I like this. I like when you're jockeying for seed and you don't have everything wrapped up. You could literally lose the next 2 games and drop Jeff from like the 4 down to the 6 or the 7. Same thing in the West. We're all looking forward to the Western Conference playoffs, and I should say the Western Conference Finals, because it would be really, really nice to have the Rockets and the Golden State Warriors match up in the Western Conference Finals. And hey, we're hoping for the Sixers to get there to the Eastern Conference Finals. But the West is going to be a lot of fun throughout the playoffs. I'm looking forward to it. But a lot to be decided, Jeff, for that home court through 4 through 8.
Dottie, you know my sleeper team in the West? You know who they are?
Who is it? Your
Portland.
Spurs? Oh, boy,
No, Portland.
Dame Dash out there? Yeah.
I'm telling you though, I did cop something at the San Antonio Spurs gift shop, Donnie. I'll have to wear it maybe next week. But yeah, I
Mm.
like Portland, man. I think, Donnie, there was a publication, I didn't remember who it was, but they didn't have Damian Lillard in the top 20 players in the NBA. You believe that?
Yeah, that's pretty.
Damian
That's pretty
Lillard,
poor. What? Because he plays in Portland and nobody pays attention? That's pretty poor.
he's amazing, dude.
It is good.
I'm telling you, watch out for the Blazes. What else do we have, Donnie? What do you have the Avalanche and Blues?
Yeah, same. They're in the same boat, Jeff, as the Flyers and the Panthers. They're just the last seed. I guess try to get in the playoffs between the Avalanche and the Blues. And again, Jeff, the Flyers end on Saturday. Their last game is tomorrow, so it's not like we're going to extend this out in the next week. The playoffs will be decided by Sunday, and it should be interesting to see exactly where they go. But I like the playoffs, Jeff, in the NHL. Regardless, it's just great that the Flyers are going to be back in it. But yes, you bring up the best point ever. Let me know in the first game if we match up against the Penguins. 30 seconds in, some whack-ass goal goes in because we play ring around the rosy and net in Philadelphia every single year. Can't develop a single goalie to save our life. We could take a goalie, Jeff, #1 overall in the draft the next 10 years straight and not be able to develop one. And it looks like it's going to be the same time around this year also.
Looks like it. Dottie, the big question that everyone must know before we
Yes.
wrap the show up, we got about 5 minutes. Did you watch Jersey Shore last night? And if you did, what did you think of it?
You know what's funny? I don't know. It said repeat on one, so I'm assuming they might have went like back-to-back shows, and I caught it late.
I
But I
believe,
caught it on the scene where they were showing like the situation, and Vinny were like boxing in the gym, and I think I didn't make it till I guess they went to Miami. But I saw the early parts. Jeff, how crazy is it how people change over what 4 or 5 years? Wow, man.
yeah, I think it's been 10 years since the show debuted. I didn't watch it. I don't have anything like when what happened, but
Yeah,
listen. I mean, when we were younger, I remember. I mean, Mike the Situation's been a staple in Seaside for many years. I mean, I remember
yeah,
when we were younger. I mean, I remember I've mentioned before. I've seen him do weird things, in just in passing. I mean, different drugs and stuff like that. It's good to see though. In some retrospects, he's cleaned his life up as far
yeah,
as the
yeah.
drugs and stuff. Because I know for a while he was pretty pretty bad on certain drugs. But yeah, I mean, you look at the level. I've seen them over the last couple of years. You look at the level of plastic surgery and some of them chicks that they have on the show. Mod on. I mean, they look totally different. But I will be the one to
Crazy.
say it. And I'm again, big man on campus comes true again. I've told all of you since the show started, the best looking chick is Snooki. She's got the best personality. She's the hottest chick on the show. And you look at now, rings true. She's still the hottest chick on the show. So what's up? But yeah, I haven't watched it, so I can't comment. But I wanted to know, Donnie. I know you. My mother called me yesterday. She's like, "Jersey Shore's on
No,
today. You watch it?" I said, I'll
of
see.
course.
I don't know if I'll get around to it, but I know she watched it. I know your wife watches it, I'm sure, and everybody. So I didn't know if you checked it out.
Yeah, no, a
Either
little bit.
way,
It's really interesting to see him where how far. Like again, that's a long time ago, and they were younger, and they were. Hey, look, you're going on a show at the beach. You better get in shape. Now it looks like Vinny's the guy in shape. Situation's not in shape, but he's completely changed. But it's interesting to see his viewpoint because he was always cocky in the past, but now he's resigned with this court case. He understands he's going away. He's just trying to limit the damage, but it looks like he's a completely different person when they interview him.
I'll tell you this, dude. The situation though in his heyday might be the best reality show character ever. I mean, he was electric, dude. That guy, he was classic. Like with some of the shit he said, man, just epic. By the way, Donnie, Paulie D, 37
Mhm.
years old.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's
37.
amazing. Yeah, yeah.
Jesus Christ, man. Still running around on Jersey Shore. 37 years old. He's got a kid. I didn't know he had a kid. Did you know that? Paulie Delvecchio
No,
has a
no,
kid.
yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
Like they all have kids now. Amazing. But we'll wrap it up with the show today. Thanks everyone for watching. Hope you all enjoy your weekend and check out the show tomorrow. Donnie Rightside and I. Donnie, I know you're excited.
Yeah,
Saturday, the
full
Saturday sit
slate.
down with
Yep.
you and I will go over all the baseball tomorrow. We'll try to find some good info on that stuff. And yeah, we'll get at it tomorrow. We'll be back Monday, obviously, with the right side of campus. Thanks to Johan for producing the show today. Donnie, I know I don't have anything for the rest of the day. I don't think you do either. Everyone, enjoy your
No,
weekend,
yeah,
and we'll see you tomorrow.
it's yeah. No, we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.
Sorry, Don. I don't know if you had anything there. You want to add something?
No, I was just saying. Yeah, tomorrow make sure we get a live link out so people actually know we're on the air tomorrow. We'll have
Right,
a good
right.
time.
Yeah, SBR. What's the deal with that, SBR? What is going on with our links? I see Clay Travis gets a link every day. We don't. What's up with that? Uh, just kidding. We need a link for God's sakes. Matt Tesaro, where are you? Get a link out, will you?
Nope.
Help us out here, buddy. Matt Tesaro not happy with me because I called him out for his. But God, I did one of the things where fucking Twitter posts shit from like 8 hours ago, right? So
Yes, they do.
I think
Yeah, yeah.
I'm thinking like Matt Tesaro just tweets out that Connor's not going to jail and he didn't get arrested. And I see it just scrolls along and I see Matt tweet that out and I'm like, dude, that's not true. And he goes, oh, it was 7 hours ago. I'm like, oh shit. I didn't even notice that. Maybe Matt's not happy. And he said, you know what? No retweets for you. No, 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 no post.
No, no
I don't know.
links.
Oh, Donnie, also, before we go, we got 1 minute here. Are you going to
Yeah.
watch the Joe Paterno special tomorrow night? Are you going to watch
Yeah,
that?
I see the highlights, but to be honest, I wish it's a Saturday night. I wish it was on Sunday or another time.
They did that.
I put it this way: I'm going to watch it. I just don't know if I'm going to watch it Saturday night.
They did that with that Bernie Madoff thing too, which the Bernie Madoff one sucked. That was I
Like,
hated
what do we
that.
get? Yeah, but how? I mean, how good is this actually going to be? It's going to be. It's actually. I'm going to actually watch it more like a comedy, sitting back with popcorn, just to see how Joe Paterno is portrayed in this one by Al Pacino. But can I say I'm looking forward to it? No, but I'll watch it.
Will Tiger make the cut, Donnie? You think?
I'm not sure if Tiger's going to actually make the cut. If I had to go on a hunch, I would say he does make the cut. But I mean, you're talking about 7, 8, 9, 10 strokes back. You'll know right away today if he's going to make the cut. But I would probably say he will make the cut. Probably fire like another even par round or something like today, and maybe hang around. It'll be close.
Bear Bryant's grandson committed to Alabama. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, quarterback. There you go.
Really? Quarterback.
Yeah.
Hmm. I didn't hear about that. Great. Maybe he'll be the next big thing in Alabama. That's pretty cool. Brandon.
Yeah,
Oh, we didn't talk about Brandon Cooks. We'll talk about that Monday.
yeah,
I actually
we'll get there.
forgot about that. And what is Fanu? Fanu. What is that?
Yeah, it's a golfer that dislocated his ankle celebrating and played yesterday, and I believe shot 4 under par. Seems like a really cool dude, man. So you'll hear a lot about him coming up in the next couple of years. It looks like.
That's one thing how you know Donnie's from like the Philadelphia area. He says golfer, not golfer. Golfer.
Golf,
You- The,
water.
the L silent. Golfer. I said water in San Antonio, and the lady goes, "What?" I said, "Let me get a
Yeah,
water." She goes, "What?"
yeah.
I said, "Water." Oh, okay. All right, Donnie. Everyone have a great night. Thanks for tuning in.
Peace.
We'll be back tomorrow, 11 a.m. for the baseball sit down. Have a great night. Bye bye.